All right, everyone, I have muted everyone at this moment. We're getting ready to go live. You're gonna just see the spotlight first. Please make sure your cameras are on, and then you'll see the recording. Once I start recording, it'll appear in the top left-hand corner. Congratulations, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome all of you, graduates, family, friends, faculty, and staff to our convocation for our 2021 amazing graduates. We celebrate 34 Bachelor of Science in Population Health graduates and 16 Master of Public Health graduates for fall 2020, spring, and summer 2021. This is also our 5th anniversary of our graduates coming out of the College of Population Health. So this is another reason for us to celebrate. We are certainly honored to have all of you here as we celebrate our graduates. This is a challenging time because as a nation and as individuals, we are facing a major struggle for social justice and equity in the middle of a serious challenge to our health and well-being. This is an amazing convocation because of what our graduating students have been able to accomplish in the face of these very personal challenges and stresses. Last year, at this time, we thought we would be done with the pandemic by the end of the summer. However, our graduates here spent the entire academic year working and interacting online. Now, if that isn't a big challenge, I don't know what is. Today, we are celebrating their huge accomplishments, their creativity, their passion for others, their insights into our current serious issues. You will soon be able to see for yourself the talents of these graduates as we highlight each of them. Now, I would like to welcome our Interim Dean, Dr. Nina Wallerstein, who has graciously taken this role since Dr. Tracy Collins is serving as New Mexico's Secretary of Health. Welcome, Dr. Wallerstein.
Thank you. Good morning. Buenos días. Buenas tardes a todos. I am honored as your Interim Dean to say how proud I am of every one of you who have worked so hard to be here today, graduates in public and population health. I know this has been an especially difficult year with virtual learning, with the hardships for many of losing work, even losing family and friends to COVID, or taking care of those who became ill, and with the realization that the world has changed dramatically. So even more congratulations to you for your passion and excellence. In many of the courses I've taught over the years, I've often asked people to take what they are taking away in their heads, what they're thinking, what they've learned, in their hearts, what they are feeling, And in their feet, what new actions will you take? Today, I'm going to tell you my hopes for you and ask you to reflect upon your own heads, heart, and feet as I talk. In your head and thoughts, my hopes are that you remain grounded in the core understandings of social and structural determinants of health inequities. As Ibram Kendi has said, we are facing not just the pandemic of COVID, but the pandemic of systemic racism that has been crystallized so deeply in the data of excess death rates suffered by racial ethnic communities. I'm hoping you continue to ask questions about root causes so that not to paralyze actions, but to catalyze your advocacy. In your heart and emotions, I hope you feel proud and recognize your achievements, but I also hope that you recognize the importance of your connections to each other and to the larger public and population health community. For me, I still remain close to my MPH and doctoral student colleagues after 40 years. I hope the same for you. For your feet, I know that many of you will take personal actions in new jobs, new educational opportunities, and I also hope you will continue to take collective action in the struggle for justice. First and foremost, for those in New Mexico, stay a member of NMPHA. Serve on committees, go to the conference next week. Many of you are presenting. Join APHA. The next conference is in October in Denver, not far. Join the APHA Spirit of 1848 listserv for the best progressive public health news in the nation. Look for local opportunities to address food insecurity, vaccine inequities, environmental injustices, such as the fight against the new asphalt plant in the South Valley. In the words of one of my mentors, Miles Horton, the founder of the Highlander Center, an organization in the South which has profoundly impacted health and social equity, if your goal is reachable in your lifetime, then it is the wrong goal. Dream high, have big aspirations, and most importantly, for your head, heart, and feet, stay true to your own values and find what's meaningful to you. Each step you take will matter. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce a colleague and friend, Dr. Laura Chanchan Parajon, currently Deputy Secretary of Health and responsible for leading our state efforts in COVID vaccine equity. I have known Dr. Parajon for over 30 years. When she first arrived as a medical student and was working in the International District, deeply committed to serving the underserved. She carried that passion to Nicaragua, where she was medical director of AMOS, a primary care nonprofit working in public health and empowerment with promotores in rural villages. And she recently returned a year or two ago to be faculty in our Department of the Family and Community Medicine here at the Health Sciences Center. But she was swept up to be Deputy Director of our Department of Health. Welcome, Dr. Parajon.
Thank you so much, Nina, and everybody, for this amazing opportunity to share with you and to celebrate with you. I wanted to just do a land acknowledgement as we are on the traditional homelands of the Pueblo of Sandia, the original peoples of New Mexico, Pueblo, Navajo, and Apache, since time immemorial, have deep connections to the land. And we have made significant contributions to the broader community statewide. We honor the land itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations, and also acknowledge our committed relationship to Indigenous peoples. We gratefully recognize our history. I am beyond humbled to have the honor of participating in your graduation today. I know some of you, several of you, you have worked so hard, you have sacrificed and done so much during this time of COVID, and now it is your time to celebrate. As a proud graduate of the first cohort of the UNM College of Population Health, I've had the blessing, like Nina said, of many more mentors like yourself, Nina, Victoria, Shannon, Christine, and so many others whose love and encouragement and support over the years is what makes this College of Population so special. COVID has been the X-ray that really spotlighted the health inequities that have been in the US for generations, but also made it super clear that we don't have enough of you guys, public health professionals, to respond to a crisis like COVID. So we are so excited that you are graduating today. Since March 2020, public health professionals and public health students have been working overtime to help make sure our public is safe, and that is your charge. So we are so glad you have come to join the world of public health, and we need each and every one of you. I'm just going to share a little bit about myself as a public health professional. My dedication and love for public health probably started before I was born, because it was a lack of access to language services that actually gave me my name. My real name is Laura Jalin Chanchin Parajon. My pronouns are she, her, and aya, but in Taiwan, where my parents immigrated from, there are no gender pronouns. And Laura is an American name my parents gave me. Thank God it wasn't another name that was weird. But anyways, they just took it off the name tag of the nurse that was taking care of me when I was a baby, because they had to give me an English name. Knowing very little English, they just put that name on the birth certificate. And from the time I was little, my dad would always say to us as Asian Americans, not to make trouble, smile, keep your head down just to survive. And that Asian American survival tactic to stay invisible, though, did not work for me, because I discovered public health as an undergraduate. That opened my eyes to a profession that's not safe. And it's not just about survival. It's about helping all people to thrive, especially those who are poor and suffer disproportionately through health equity. So you guys are entering into this such an amazing, well, you chose it, of this amazing journey of public health. When I did, though, have the opportunity to actually do my first real public health job, it was in Nicaragua. And I was super excited to go to a different place and serve a different community. But have you ever had one of those jobs that when you got there, you were like, wait a second, what did I get myself into? After a year of being in Nicaragua, I was so ready to come back home. I mean, there were electricity outages, vehicles that got stuck in the mud, very complex politics. Trying to even find medications for patients was difficult every day. I know, like such a first world attitude, right? Like it started to sound good to be invisible, like my dad said, like just come home, drive a minivan, work in my dad's clinic, take my kids to baby soccer practice, and maybe pick up a Starbucks iced tea on the way home. But working in rural Nicaragua changed my mind and made me realize that public health is the work that you do every single day on the ground with people in communities. In rural Nicaragua, I met moms like Maria and her son, Kevin. Maria was a single mom and lived on less than $1 a day. During a clinic visit, Maria brought her child to us to save him, but it was too late. He had already died because she didn't know that she had to give fluids to her son when he had diarrhea. When I held Kevin's limp body in my hands, he was the exact age of my son, Davy, who I knew would never die of diarrhea. I had learned about the social determinants of health in my master's program in public health, but I had never had anyone die in my arms because of the social determinants of health. So it was in that moment that I made a choice to stay and work in public health in Nicaragua. I ended up staying in that job for 17 years, co-founding a public health organization, Amos Health and Hope, which trained community health workers to do primary care and address health inequities through community-based participatory research in remote rural areas, so that moms like Maria and her son Kevin didn't die of preventable diseases. So this is what I am excited for you guys to do. Take the things you learn from public health and make it real. As I know that I've spoken to several of you graduates, and many of you I've worked with have experienced that similar calm moment as well. We are all here today because we have felt a call in our hearts to serve the most vulnerable people as public health professionals. One of my favorite lines Nina often puts in her PowerPoints is from Mary Northridge, and they're true words to live by for us as public health professionals. because sometimes we definitely don't know the answers. It's a complex world, but it says show up because it's okay as long as we learn to learn from our mistakes. Listen, 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 because when we listen to communities, they have the answer. And believe in social justice. Cornel West says love is a steadfast commitment to the well-being of others, and love is what social justice looks like in public. So that's what we do as public health professionals. We believe in social justice. We take action together for change because you can't stay invisible in public health. Taking action for social justice is by its very nature public. So I take all these principles and take it wherever I go. I worked on those principles when we did people experiencing homelessness, and we brought together a coalition of people that work to keep people experiencing homelessness safe from getting COVID. And now at the Department of Health, as a deputy secretary, I live by the same principles where I work with an amazing team of public health professionals, but we need more. So if you want a job, we need more to pull together a multi-sector, multi-departmental team that worked to actually lead the nation in COVID doses for vaccine. And now we also are leading the nation in racial and ethnic equity doses. So this is what we can do together when we pull together. And your dean, your temporary dean at the secretary, Tracy Collin, your dean on leave, she set the conditions as a leader for our team to be able to achieve this. So we need all of you in public health in all different positions. The work I do today, wherever I am, comes from the tool I got from this amazing training at the College of Public Health. Public health is a promise that we as a society can have healthcare, housing, and a living wage as a basic human right for everyone. That it'll take all of us public health professionals doing what we best do, bringing people together, figuring out things together with healthcare providers, lawyers, policymakers, and communities themselves to make change. In the US, we still face systemic racism, social economic injustice, fragmented systems, health inequities, and the continued disproportionate deaths of our Native American, African American, and Hispanic brothers and sisters. But guess what? You are doing amazing things, and we believe in you. Use your public health degree, use your influence and intelligence to be instruments of change. Take your place to make this world safer for all of us. And be allies. Continue to care for our families of color, our trans family, our queer family, our straight family, anybody experiencing homelessness, despair, or suffering. Look out for all of us, class of 2021, and congratulations and blessings on your next chapter of your journey. Thank you so much for all you do and will continue to do in your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barahon. That was a very inspiring talk. And plus, you gave us all those personal memories, which are so important to hear. So thank you very much. It's an honor to introduce the two speakers for our next section of the program. The students were nominated and selected by their peers to represent them at this convocation. Our BSPH speaker is Susanna Metcalf. While she was earning her degree, she did exactly what Dr. Barahon was talking about. She volunteered for a refugee and asylum seeking resettlement agency. She worked with the Wellness Hotels Project, which provided safe spaces for people experiencing homelessness. And now this summer, she will continue her volunteer work with Austin Public Health with plans to eventually join the Peace Corps. Welcome, Susanna.
Thank you, Dr. Tallastrop. When I was younger, my dad shared with me a quote by the religious scholar and civil rights activist Howard Thurman. It's pretty and concise, and perfect for a coffee mug, a framed poster, or yes, a convocation speech. When my dad told it to me, he misquoted it actually, but his version I liked best. He said, "Don't ask yourself, what does the world need? Instead, ask yourself, what fills me up and brings me joy, and offer that to the world." I think it's a beautiful message for a future generation, one with the luxury of a world that isn't on the brink of social and ecological collapse. But it brings me no pleasure to say it's not the right message for our generation. I believe we cannot know what we do about health inequity. We cannot recognize what we now do about social injustice in our world. We cannot see the inequality and discrimination in our health and social and political systems. We cannot understand the imminent catastrophic impact of climate change and not act. Instead, we must ask ourselves, what does the world need? And be guided in all that we do by this question. And the world is calling us, now louder and more desperately than ever, to action. We cannot turn our backs on the world, especially when we are perhaps the students at UNM best equipped to serve it. Our skills and our knowledge, and now our degree in population health, and all of the privilege that we possess to have gotten here, denies us the luxury of living only in pursuit of what brings us personal joy. And instead, it grants us the responsibility, I believe, to live in service to the world. So let's take this moment to remind ourselves, what does the world need? Many of these statistics you're likely unsurprised by, as we've encountered them here in the program. But to emphasize, today 11% of the global population is hungry, and nearly 2 billion experience food insecurity. An average 15,000 children under 5 die each day, nearly all from preventable causes. 38 million Americans do not have adequate health coverage, and nearly half of the US population has at least one chronic condition. Approximately 80% of tropical rainforests have been deforested for agriculture. This year alone, nearly 3 million lives have been lost to the COVID-19 pandemic, which will push up to 150 million more people into poverty. An estimated 3 billion people worldwide lack the ability to simply safely wash their hands at home. Air pollution causes 7 million premature deaths worldwide every year, and over 90% of the world's urban population breathes air that exceeds WHO's guidelines levels for outdoor air pollution. By the 2030s, the Arctic could become entirely free of ice in the summers, accelerating climate change and its catastrophic impacts on human health. By the 2050s, ocean temperatures could rise so dramatically that fish species are cut nearly in half, further increasing food scarcity. By 2080, overuse of soil for agriculture could make them entirely infertile, dramatically inhibiting global food production as our population continues to grow. I believe our population health training has shown us what the world needs. The students in this room on this call can do far more than simply pursue what fills us up and brings us joy. We can listen to the needs of the world and answer, and find great joy and fulfillment in just this. I can't be sure, of course, but when I listen, I hear the world saying it needs us to promote equity, peace, justice, health, safety, and hope in our local and global communities. I hear it saying that it needs us to advocate for those most vulnerable, marginalized, misunderstood, and underserved. I hear it asking us to live, learn, sacrifice, and work in service to the environment. I hear it saying it needs us to aim to serve those whose voices have been silenced and whose freedoms denied by systems of oppression. I hear the world telling us it needs us to be eager and impatient and restless in our efforts to promote positive change. I hear it telling us to feel uncomfortable with injustice of all kinds and unwilling to allow it. And above all, I hear the world telling us it needs us to let love and compassion guide all action we take. At this unique moment in history, we are equipped to address these problems which, unchecked, will do irreparable damage. And in the face of this, may we continue to ask ourselves, what does the world need? And let that fill us up and bring us joy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Susanna, for those very thoughtful comments that tailored nicely with what Dr. Parahon was telling us as well. Next, I would like to introduce Melissa Christian, who is our MPH student speaker. Melissa did similar to what Susanna did, similar to what most of our students do, is she played an important role in developing trainings for the New Mexico Department of Health as part of her practicum experience. These trainings were then used by the health department for case and contact tracing training early in the pandemic. Because of this excellent work, she was offered a permanent position as a public health surveillance officer with the Emerging Infections Program at the state. So Dr. Barahone, she is already there with you. So welcome, Melissa.
Hello. So how many of you have given thought to what our next public health challenges will be? If anything in this world holds true, it is that history tends to repeat itself in a variety of ways. The Black Death of the 14th century, the 1918 pandemic of H1N1 that made a swift but deadly reoccurrence in 2009, mid-century outbreaks of polio, the HIV/AIDS epidemics that decimated our LGBTQ plus siblings, and most notably the current pandemic of the novel coronavirus we've been battling for over a year. During our coursework, we dedicate a lot of time to learning about the past of public health. What better way to learn about the field of public health than by reflecting on and analyzing our past successes and failures? We learn about Dr. John Snow, one of the founders of modern epidemiology, whose observations led him to remove the handle of the infamous Broad Street pump in response to a wave of cholera in Victorian London, to vaccination development and administration that has virtually eradicated many infectious diseases, including polio and smallpox around the world, sanitation systems, smoking cessation programs and smoke-free policies, seatbelt laws, food safety regulations, and hundreds of other services, programs, and laws that have led to dramatically longer and healthier lives over the past century and a half. This is not to say we don't have more work to do. The graduates here today have developed their knowledge and skills in a particularly unique time in modern history, to put it lightly. While completing our degrees and beginning our careers, we have seen some of the most turbulent events we will probably see in our lifetimes. We have seen our current medical, political, and public health systems pushed to their absolute limits while we struggle to stay ahead of a global pandemic. Our public health departments and professionals have operated under the microscope of public opinion and pressure, and we continue to fight for social justice, health equity, and evidence-based practices during one of the most polarizing political climates our nation has ever experienced. This is the world we are inheriting as public health professionals, and these are the social and global issues that we are tasked with. The way we conduct ourselves and respond to these problems will play a massive role in defining the trajectory of our careers and the future of public health, not only in our country, but around the globe. No pressure at all. But during our time with the College of Population Health, I've been absolutely inspired by the resiliency and strength of every student in our college. You are professionals grounded in passion for service to our communities, champions of equity and health for people of all races, ethnicities, gender identities, income levels, sexual orientations, and immigration status. Warriors for change at all levels of our society, from individuals and families to policies affecting our entire nation. All of the graduates today have not only earned their degrees, but did so in the most unusual and unprecedented circumstances anyone today has ever encountered. These students didn't just adapt to the challenges COVID-19 created, but excelled. Many of us did so while caring for families, losing jobs, and unfortunately even losing loved ones. Despite the tragic year we as a society have endured, so many of the grads today also assisted in the COVID-19 response for New Mexico. Contact tracing, surveillance, case interviewing, direct patient care, and everything in between. My colleagues stepped up when our state needed them the most, and they continue to do so today. This is how I know, without a doubt, thanks to our incredible instructors and mentors, today's graduates will be an absolute force to be reckoned with, and I'm incredibly honored and humbled to be graduating alongside you all today. So I ask again, what do you think our next public health challenges will be? Regardless of what came to mind, I know that these professionals, wherever their careers and education may take them, will put everything they have into keeping our community safe and healthy. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the College of Population Health graduates.
Thank you, Melissa, for your words as well to your MPH classmates. And I want to say, if we had time and every single one of our graduates had the opportunity to give a speech, these things would be said over and over again. They are an amazing group of graduates. Now the part that you all are looking for, Dr. Shannon Sanchez-Youngman, she will introduce each of our college graduates and they'll have a time in the spotlight. Thank you.
Introducing the Bachelor of Science in Population Health graduates. Aurelia Carolina Salome Chavez is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a second major in Spanish. Sydney Conlin is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in biology. Casey Culleton is graduating with the Bachelor of Science in Population Health. Needy Kanabar is graduating magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in chemistry. Wiaeni Kalate is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Community Health Education. So our hardworking staff has found a technical difficulty. So we're going to start the introduction of our graduates over. So give them a moment so that they can resolve. And my apologies to all your family and friends for this in a Zoom environment. Okay, so let's start over. I would like to introduce the graduates for the Bachelor of Science in Population Health. Aurelia Carolina Salome Chavez is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a second major in English. Sydney Conlin is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in biology. Casey Culleton is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health. Needy Kanabar is graduating magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in chemistry. Wiaeni Kalate is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Community Health Education. Pablo Lasso is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in German. Govinde Lengiat is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Political Science. Susanna Metcalf is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a second major in Spanish. Karina Miramontes is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Spanish. Eliane Morris is graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and minors in Management and Chemistry. Zoe Myers is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Psychology. Irum Nadim is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a second major in Psychology. Jaylin Pereira is graduating magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Management. Lindsay Pinto is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a second major in Political Science. Natalie Robson is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health. Congratulations. Jacob Raymond Silva is graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Interdisciplinary Liberal Arts. Stephanie Straley is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and minors in Chemistry and Political Science. Thomas Suarez is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Community Health Education. Milo Taylor is graduating magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Chemistry. Erica Thomas is graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a second major in Native American Studies. Jessica Valletta is graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Management. Karina Valletta is graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health and a minor in Spanish and a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish with a second major in Latin American Studies. Anchel Pradhan is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Population Health. Next, we would like to recognize a BSPH graduate that consistently inspired her fellow students. This award is presented to, This award is presented to Susanna Metcalf for her academic excellence in population health. Our honorable mentions include Lindsay Pinto, Stephanie Straley, and Thomas Suarez. Congratulations to all of you. And now we would like to recognize the student for the Outstanding Leadership Award for the BSPH. Our Outstanding Student Leadership Award goes to Stephanie Straley for her outstanding leadership in population health. Much congratulations to all of you for your achievements. The final two awards in this portion of our program are presented on behalf of the Population Health Undergraduate Network. The Population Health Undergraduate Network is pleased to announce the first ever COPH Teacher of the Year Award. This award recognizes the outstanding efforts of COPH faculty that have gone above and beyond to create positive and inspiring experiences for population health students. Students enrolled in the BSPH program for the academic year of 2020-2021 were asked to nominate a professor they felt made a positive impact in their educational experience. 2 professors will be receiving this inaugural award. FUN is pleased to announce, on behalf of the BSPH students, Dr. Victor Baraberio and Dr. Tammy Thomas as the recipients of the 2021 COPH Teacher of the Year Award. We want to personally thank Drs. Baraberio and Thomas for their dedication to creating positive and engaging learning environments despite the challenges posed this year. And now, additionally, FUN is pleased to announce the recipient of the 2021 Population Health Undergraduate Outstanding Service Award. This award recognizes the leadership and service of one of our BSPH students. We are proud to announce this year's recipient, Jacob Silva, a graduating senior of the class of 2021. Jacob has exhibited great devotion to promoting positive student engagement, both in the College of Population Health and UNM broadly, through his long history of serving on student government. His passion for student advocacy and advocacy in the larger community of New Mexico serves as a beacon of hope for all of those around him. FUN would like to thank Jacob for his hard work and dedication, and we wish him the best in all his endeavors as he takes his next step in life. And now, introducing the graduates for the Master of Public Health. I think we're ready to hear those graduates. There we go. All right. Tristan Adams is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Christine Tallastrop, hooded by her mother, Laura Leanne Adams. Dr. Lynette Brown is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Karen Armitage, hooded by friend, Dr. Judith Richardson. Melissa Christian is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Noel Stone, MPH, hooded by children, Aiden and Kit Christian. Nudo is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Noelle Stone, MPH, hooded by her mother, Tim Wynn. Jamie Duvall is graduating with a Master of Public Health.
That's great.
Uh-oh.
That's not true. No.
I think we need to, I'm gonna pause us and go back. There we go. Jamie Duvall is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Christine Tallastrop and hooded by her husband, Alan Duvall. Emily Guerra is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Laura Nervy, hooded by Spencer Norris. Roxanne Humphreys is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Lisa Kakati Stone, and hooded by her husband, Nicholas Humphreys. Melissa Judson is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Christine Tallastrop, and hooded by her parents, Mike and Nancy Judson. Carlos Linares is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Lisa Kakati Stone. Katie Myers is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Nina Wallerstein, hooded by husband Dylan Brownell. Azuka Ray Naru is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Lisa Kakati Stone, and hooded by her husband, Adnan Bashir. Giselle Quintana is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Noel Stone, MPH, hooded by her sister, Sheila Quintana. Sophie Rouge is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Noel Stone, MPH, hooded by herself. Brittany Ashley Karina Sanchez is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Victoria Sanchez and hooded by her grandfather, David Casados. Congratulations. Alexandra Villegas is graduating with a Master of Public Health, mentored by Dr. Laura Nervy and hooded by her mother, Linda Villegas Marrero. Each year, the College of Population Health faculty recognize Bachelor of, excuse me, my script is out of order, I apologize. The Master of Public Health faculty recognize students who have excelled academically and exhibited professionalism and ethical conduct throughout the MPH program. This year, the Academic Distinction Award is presented to Margaret Cunningham for academic excellence in public health. Congratulations, Margaret. PHSA would like to recognize and highlight the invaluable contributions made PHSA would like to recognize and highlight the invaluable contributions made by excuse me, somehow my script got out of order. There we go. The Public Health Association is pleased to announce the recipient of this year's Outstanding Service Award. The award focuses on the contribution of a Master of Public Health student within the College of Population Health. This year, the PHSA is proud to recognize a student who exhibited great leadership and personal growth during their first year in the MPH program. Sangam Shrestha joined the MPH program during a rather unusual year. Despite the barriers that virtual learning and engagement created, Sangam dove headfirst into the involvement in several leadership positions on campus, in addition to his MPH coursework. During his first year, Sangam was the first PHSA representative for the Health Science Student Council, as well as for the UNM IT Advisory Committee. Sangam is also part of the Practices and Policy Group for the UNM Anti-Racism Training Program. Sangam understands that change must take place on multiple fronts and focuses his time on various boards, committees, to ensure that students receive equitable outcomes. As part of the PHSA, Sangam advocated for current and future MPH students. For example, he educated MPH students about the tuition differential and went above and beyond to help students understand the nuances and options students have in the College of Population Health. His efforts have truly showcased the importance of community efforts in creating long-term equity. PHSA thanks Sangam for his outstanding service to fellow students and wishes him best of luck in all his future endeavors. Okay, the final awards this year are presented on behalf of the public health. Oops, we're having a bit of technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, and now we would like to focus on the Excellence in Public Health Award for the MPH program. Okay. This year, we are happy to present this award to Emily Huera for outstanding leadership in public health. Congratulations, Emily. And our honorable mentions go to, bear with us, everyone. Okay. Before moving on to talk about the honorable mentions, the PHSA would also like to recognize and highlight the invaluable contributions made by Audrey Cooper and Nicole Martinez. In a year that presented many challenges, Audrey and Nicole held steady and kept PHSA afloat and connected during stressful times. Their deft and compassionate leadership helped cement PHSA's position as a student-led and student-centered organization. Their leadership was instrumental in organizing students to respond to the proposed tuition differential for the MPH program and the push for increasing student involvement and voice in the college's practices and policies. The impacts of Audrey and Nicole's leadership are long-lasting and foundational for future cohorts of students.
Thank you, Dr. Sanchez-Youngman, for highlighting those student awards. You can see that we do have an amazing group of graduates this year. Each year we have a tradition of our graduates reciting the College of Population Health's oath. It provides the guiding principles and inspiration for our graduates as they go out into the real world. And it's hoped that if our graduates get discouraged by all the challenging problems they face, that they could pull out this oath to give them guidance on where they should be going. Melissa Christian will recite the oath, and you can all join her because it will shortly appear on the screen. Melissa?
All right, everyone. I will work to ensure that people have the chance to live full and productive lives, free from avoidable disease and disability, and supported in their pursuit of physical, mental, and social well being. I will hold myself to the highest ethics, standards, values, and responsibilities as I move forward the science and practice of public health. I will respect the rights, values, beliefs, and cultures of those individuals and communities with whom I work. I will rely on evidence to support my decisions and actions and translate that evidence into policies and programs that improve health for all. I will add to the body of research and knowledge and share my discoveries freely. I will continuously seek new information and be open to ideas that can better protect and promote the health of populations. I will advance the health literacy for all and seek equity and justice for vulnerable populations.
Thank you, Melissa. You can see that it's something that you can keep in your heart and in your head as you're going out to do the important work in public health. A couple of last words. Over the past year, I've been interacting only virtually with our graduates. So some of these students I saw for maybe 6 weeks in the spring, and then I haven't seen them since. So it's been such a treat to see them all, even on Zoom again, but it's been a real joy. I've had a chance to think about all that we have lost in the past year, but also all that we have gained. And so I keep coming back to the closing words of my favorite PBS show called The Midwife. And this is what they said at the close of their season. The seasons will always turn, the clouds will gather, and the cold will come. We will survive them. We will wonder where there is despair. There will be happiness, and we will remember it. There will be friendships that we won't forget. Welcome the darkness. Embrace it as a canopy from which the stars can hang. For there are always stars when we are where we ought to be, amongst the faces we love the best. Each with our place, each with our purpose, as fixed and familiar as the constellations. The darkness is beautiful, for how else can we shine? When I heard this, I thought of our graduates. They're going to be the stars that show us where we ought to be in the coming years as we come out of this dark time and move forward. And as you can see, they are ready to move forward. So now is the final form or activity of our program. Dean Wallerstein will confer the degrees.
So acting on the recommendations of the faculties concerned and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of New Mexico Health Sciences Center as Interim Dean of the College of Population Health, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree earned with all its rights, honors, and responsibilities. So everyone should put your tassels on your right. To signify your graduation, please move your tassels now from the right to the left. Yay, congratulations, class of 2021. So now just final words, want to just say thank you so much to all the families and friends who have offered support to all the graduates, to our staff and faculty, mostly to the 34 BSPH and 16 MPH students who have dedicated yourselves with passion, not only just to graduate, but to graduate and thrive in this year of COVID. Now let's end the program by enjoying the memorable slides provided by our graduates.
Woohoo! Job well done, everyone. It looks beautiful. Celebration! Everybody take off your bikes.
Congratulations, everyone.
We are so proud of you.
Woo, woo.
Thank you.
It was so beautiful. The pictures, everything, the collage, everything was so beautiful.
Yeah, that collage was
So
awesome.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to you guys for sending all that in.